Hello and welcome to another VSG Expanded video. In this video, we're going to provide an overview of Zero Trust. We'll discuss what problems Zero Trust solves and why you should care about it, provide a clear definition of Zero Trust, and finally, show how we solve Zero Trust with our products and solutions. Let's jump in. Remember that scene in Star Wars where R2-D2 just rolls into the Death Star, plugs into a random port, and suddenly has access to the entire Imperial network? No authentication, no segmentation, just full access because he's inside. That's what happens when you don't use Zero Trust. So setting aside the Star Wars example, why does this actually matter in the real world? Well, because the world isn't the sealed-off Death Star. It's messy. Users are remote, devices are personal, and apps live everywhere. The old model of protection where everything sat behind a perimeter firewall just doesn't cut it. We've got work from home, BYOD, IoT devices, and now we're layering on AI and automation. At the same time, the threat landscape keeps evolving. Governance expectations are rising, and finding the right people to manage it all, that's its own challenge. This results in a ton of complexity. So Zero Trust just isn't a buzzword, it's a way to bring structure and control back into an environment that's gotten pretty chaotic. So let's start by looking at the fundamentals, the core principles of Zero Trust. No matter which vendor you go with, the foundation is always the same. First, identity. You can't apply any meaningful policy unless you know who or what is connected, whether it's a user or something like a camera or medical system. Second, least privileged access. The idea is simple. Start with no access, and then grant only what's needed for the identity to do its job and nothing more. And third, the one that often gets overlooked, is continuous monitoring. It's not good enough to authenticate once and move on. You need to keep evaluating posture and behavior and adjust access dynamically as things change. At HPE Aruba Networking, these principles are built directly into the network. Identity-based access starts with NAC. Whether you're using Central NAC or ClearPass, both can onboard users through your identity provider and profile devices in real time. From there, policy is defined based on roles. A role represents who or what a user or device is on the network, and the role follows them across the environment. You can enforce it at the edge, across the WAN, or at the cloud perimeter, whatever fits your design. And finally, continuous monitoring is handled by multiple systems. Central Client Insights, IPS/IDS at the edge, SSE traffic inspection, and direct integration with your SIM to trigger remediation when needed. It's not just about enforcing a rule once, it's about constantly checking whether access still makes sense and taking action when it doesn't. So let's look at each pillar in more detail, starting with identity. In a traditional on-premise environment where many customers currently operate, our ClearPass Policy Manager deployment delivers robust NAC services. This integrates seamlessly with on-prem identity stores like Active Directory, providing 802.1x authentication for both wired and wireless users and devices. Additionally, for IoT devices that don't support 802.1x, we can leverage MAC authentication. As organizations modernize, we see a significant shift towards integration with cloud identity providers. These providers now serve not only as a backbone for NAC, but also to facilitate single sign-on for various applications and provide identity context for SSE solutions. Furthermore, our cloud-based NAC solution offers substantial benefits, greatly simplifying aspects like certificate management, configuration, and reducing operational overhead. Regarding endpoints, devices now have two agents, an 802.1x supplicant when on-prem, and a ZTNA client for when connecting remotely. Our MAC-based authentication capabilities are also greatly enhanced. Wireless clients can now connect securely using MPSK, and our advanced client insights significantly improves device profiling, offering much deeper insights into what clients are, and crucially, what they're doing on the network, all powered by streaming telemetry directly from our access points, switches, and gateways. Next, we define a policy based on our identity. This is where our policy manager in Central, which is referred to as Central Policy Manager, and our SSE dashboard come into play. Within our Central Policy Manager, we can define our policy based on role for what the user or device is allowed to do on the network. This is used for on-prem LAN and WLAN policy, and our central policy manager allows for a single policy across multiple device types and capabilities. The policy engine extends beyond traditional ACLs into more granular controls, like applications. You can apply these policies within a hierarchical configuration for better reuse and scale, targeting users, IoT devices, and applications. And again, policies can be built leveraging both traditional elements like IP-based elements and roles and applications. For users connecting remotely, or for the traffic going through the SSE to access internet-based resources, this is where our SSE Policy Manager comes in. With the SSE Policy Manager, you can block access from risky destinations and leverage rich posture for contextual policy decisions. It allows you to define access to both internal and external applications within a single unified policy, using tags to simplify management. Finally, let's discuss policy enforcement. For users off-network, such as remote workers operating from home, connectivity is established via our SSE solution. Through Zero Trust Network Access, or ZTNA policies, we provide granular, zero-trust access to your corporate-hosted applications. Our secure web gateway and cloud access security broker capabilities, SWIG and CASB, within our SSE, help to meticulously control interactions with SaaS apps and the general internet. For users and IoT devices connecting on-prem, their policies are enforced directly by the network infrastructure, utilizing our dynamic segmentation approaches. When these on-premise users or devices attempt to access the internet, we can direct the traffic through our SSE to enforce consistent policy there as well. Policy enforcement also extends into our data center applications. We can define precise policies governing communications between front-end and back-end servers, ensuring only specific authorized traffic flows to secure data center workloads effectively. To recap, HPE Aruba Networks provides a truly comprehensive and integrated approach to zero trust. We start by establishing robust identity, ensuring every user and device is verified, whether they're on-prem with our NAC solutions like ClearPass and CloudNAC, or remote with our SSE solution. This identity then informs our policy creation, managed through Central Policy Manager for your LAN and WLAN, and the SSE Policy Dashboard for remote. These tools allow you to define granular, context-aware policies. Finally, we ensure consistent enforcement across the entire infrastructure. This means dynamic segmentation in your campus, branches, and your data center, secure remote internet access and internet protection via SSE, and seamless policy propagation across your SD-WAN. That's a wrap on another VSG Expanded video. For more great design, deploy, and operate content related to Zero Trust, check out the Validated Solution Guide.